probably the biggest game in our history. I think it's something that the nation needs, and there's a lot of unrest. I think you can imagine in terms of just bringing peace to the country.
Yeah, hugely significant, of course, with the conflict that is going on in the eastern region of the Democratic Republic of Congo and the situation in the country. In terms of football, though, a good chance to create new positive World Cup history as well. That Zaire team remembered for Mwepu Olunga's infamous moment when he ran out of the defensive wall and smashed the ball downfield as Brazil were preparing to take a free kick. There was a 9-0 defeat to Yugoslavia. So a chance to get to the finals, Gabby, and create these new memories.
Yeah, I think in terms of football itself, DR Congo has come a long way, and I think this is a chance to prove they can compete at this level. Also, I think getting there is the first step. But once we do get there, if we do get there, the aim is to also compete and put on a good show, not just be there as participants, not just be happy to be part of the party, but also to create history on the football pitch.
Well, this is a chance for either the DR Congo or Jamaica to go through to Group K. Colombia, Portugal, Uzbekistan are already in that group. And Shaka, just on that point, actually, over 50 years for the DR Congo. You've just talked about Curacao as well. This expanded format is giving opportunities to nations to take part, and as we've been saying there to Gary, to create history for their nation.
Absolutely, it is. Listen, on one hand, and I guess just the kind of football purist or football analyst in me wonders if 48 teams is too much for a World Cup, and I know there's even talk of expanding further. But seeing that, I come from a smaller footballing country myself in Trinidad and Tobago. We've only ever qualified for the World Cup once in our history, that in 2006. Gabby's talking about the impacts that it will have on the country. We witnessed that back in 2006 ourselves. So while for many of the bigger nations, particularly European nations, it's all about going deep in the tournament and who wins it. For smaller countries such as ours, it's just about getting there. It's about our football being played at the highest stage of the game, knowing what it means to our population, to our citizenry. That for us is a big prize here, is a big goal about it, because it really is transformative in so many ways, on and off the park, both in the short and the long term.
Well, we're going to head into the DR Congo camp and speak to one of the players in just a moment, a former Manchester United, now Burnley defender, Axel Tuanzebe, who's with the camp in Guadalajara. Gabby, you're the coach, sir, of the under-20s national team. You've been focusing as well on identifying players to come through for the national side. So good to get Tuanzebe there, who represented England at a younger age group level involved.
Yeah, I mean, it's massive for me personally. I knew a lot about him. I did try and get him involved a lot earlier, and in the role that I'm with the DR Congo camp is to identify players who may have dual nationality and potentially could play for DR Congo. And when you have players of that quality playing in the Premier League, not quite getting that look in for the England team, it goes to waste, a lot of the time. So the fact that I could convince him and his family to switch nationalities and to get all the paperwork over the line, and also he's been a big part of everything we've created leading up to this moment. So it does show that there are players there who potentially we can capture, and hopefully it's not a battle of nationalities, but when it is, we can convince them to play for DR Congo, and it makes a huge difference, just as much as he's done.
Axel Tuanzebe, born in the Democratic Republic of Congo, moved to England at a young age, and as I say, played at age group level for England, but since 2024, part of the Democratic Republic of Congo national team. Let's hear from him then, from the team's camp in Guadalajara. Here he is speaking to Gabby and myself ahead of the biggest game for the DR Congo in 50 years.
Any international stage is of importance, and to be doing this in such a manner with a country filled with such history and a fair few amounts of its struggles, and to be able to bring this joy to the people, I think there's no better privilege of being an international. Again, there's the football side of it, but also what it means to the people, the joy that it will bring, and just how proud we can be as a group of men trying to achieve something that's not been done in a very, very long time. So, there's a buzz here, there's a buzz in the group. Jamaica a good side, they have good players, but man, we need to win this game.
And in 2024 is when you joined up with the national team. But is that one of the key reasons then to have that opportunity to perhaps represent the DR Congo at the World Cup finals?
For sure. Obviously, you want to play in the biggest stages, but that wasn't really on the mind upon joining initially. It was more so obviously playing international football for my birth country, my home country is where my mannerisms and my ways of life are from. Also to make the family proud as well. You know, we're still very much in contact with family back home. So playing for the national team has only just brought a proud touch to the family.
Yeah, no, Axel, my question to you, to be honest, is how did you find the integration? You know, playing for England and playing for Congo is two totally different things.
I don't think there's really much sort of baby steps into it. It was sort of it's a well-established organization. The manager's really professional. The federation are really backing of the manager, and all the lads that are within this national team are all professionals and have played or have been playing football for a very long time. So it's no different to being at Burnley. It's very professional. It's very clean. It's very organized. We eat well. We stay in good hotels. So there's nothing of lacking, you know. And I think sometimes that's the connotation put around African international football, that you lack on certain amenities. And here we're very privileged to have everything that we need.
And the group you mentioned, Axel, as well, you know, how tight you are and how close you are. I mean, there is going to be such a big spotlight on the nation because of this match, you know, especially if you reach the World Cup finals as well. I know some of your teammates have come together in the past to call for peace in the troubled eastern region of the country, the conflict going on there. Is that something that's talked about? Is there a sense that this match could try and help the country and try and bring it together?
For sure, like I stated before, this is not just a game of football. This is a big, you could say, political play. You know, Congo's been a country that's been exploited by, you know, powers that be. Isn't right, but it's the world we live in today. There's people that, you know, can't live in peace, and you know what we can do is affect that by playing the football we play. You know, so this is our little political play towards that. So it's definitely a game where, for me, I definitely consider it as the biggest game in my football career. Playing a game, winning, giving a breath of fresh air to the country, letting people rejoice, smile, have something to talk about, laugh and joke with their friends and family. And it's moments like this where you can sit back and always smile about.
Yeah. And also the other question I wanted to ask you was how your relationship has, because this has been the top topic, to be honest, when I've watched the national team, is your relationship with Chancel Mbemba, especially over the last few games. I've noticed really looks something special. And I think you've gone there and really, you two together have looked really solid. And how's that relationship?
I think it's just two genuine people playing football together. I think I've played football long enough to understand when people have their own selfish ambitions and want to make themselves look good. But when you're playing with someone that you just wants to win, wants the team to win, wants to people around them to do well, I think that shows in the way we play. We have a good communication, and we're always covering each other, you know, regardless of who makes the mistake. We're always there to pick each other up. And we want to drive the team forward and get to many more great positions. But it starts from just simple relationships. For sure, he's been a pioneer to this group. You know, I think the national team has come a really long way, and he's been one of the people, him, Cedric Bakambu, who have really pushed on a player end to get sort of the right amenities, the right environment for players to come in and play. I'm sure, obviously, Gabby's been one of them players who's been in difficult environments, but you know they've paved the way for what it is today, and what it is today is very good. So we can only be grateful for these types of players, and obviously he's got 100+ caps for the country, so you can see he's definitely served this time well.
That is the Burnley and Democratic Republic of Congo defender Axel Tuanzebe. Gabriel Zakwani, Shaka Hislop are on our Sports World team today. And Gabby, talking about Chancel Mbemba there, I mean, he has been so crucial for the national team, you know, at the defensive end of the field, but equally as well, you know, scoring the goal that beat Cameroon in the semi-final, and then the decisive spot kick against Nigeria as they reach this intercontinental playoff. You know, such a leader for the team, Gabby.
Yeah, massively. He's been literally indispensable to the team. I mean, he's the one player that you can bank on to always perform. And during that time, funny enough, he was without a club as well, and he would still be selected for the national team just because of what he brings, that leadership, that togetherness to the team, and it's just been absolutely crucial. And I think we've sort of built the run that we've been on has been built by him really being solid and ever present for the national team.
Yeah, now playing his club football for Lille. Shaka, you need that, don't you, at any level, but especially at this level when we talk about qualifying for World Cups, to have those leaders on the pitch.
Yeah, without question. And, you know, every team you look at, and again, almost regardless of what their ambitions are. We spoke about the big European teams and their push to win the tournament. You look for leaderships within those dressing rooms, and those smaller countries who are just hoping to do their countries proud. Again, you lean on leaders. You know, 2006 was no different for us. We had Dwight York in our dressing room, and he was our captain. He was our focus. Those roles, that experience is second to none when it comes to this game, and again, those ambitions, regardless of where they may fall.
So on Tuesday, then, we've got Gabby, DR Congo, nation of what, over 115 million people. I think you've been in Kinshasa, haven't you? Give us a sense of what it is going to be like on Tuesday.
I mean, it'll be jumping. I mean, it will be literally jumping. There'll be a lot of noise, the traffic everywhere. I think every Congo outlet that sells kits would have sold out because everyone will be dressed in the kits. So I just mean it'll be a big carnival in Congo, and I'm sure every bar will be full, and it'll be very good for business in the city as well because there'll be a lot of drinks. So I just mean it will be everything, but it won't be anything unless we get the result we need. But leading up to it and during, it will be chaos.
And now let's just get a little flavour, shall we? Let's go around the world. Let's go to Jamaica now, your opponents. We've got, just under 3 million people there on the island. Rashid Parchment from the Jamaican Observer is with us. Well, Rashid, it's been a long time as well. It's been 28 years since the Reggae Boys played their one and only World Cup in 1998. What is it going to be like there on Tuesday?
Well, everyone, I should say, is cautiously optimistic and cautiously hopeful because everyone knows what it means to get to the World Cup. So many players, so many fans of this generation have never experienced the 98 campaign. Too young, they have to listen to their parents speak about it. And now, this was supposed to be Jamaica's best chance, but given the performances over the previous qualifying campaign for the CONCACAF region, you can say the confidence has eroded somewhat. However, given that it's just one game away, 90 minutes, people are still hopeful and dreaming that something big can happen here.
So you got Gabby there to go up against Rashid. He's smiling away there. I'm thinking in terms of party atmosphere, it's going to be relatively early, isn't it, in Jamaica when this kicks off?
Yeah, it's going to be at about the time when people are just about getting ready to leave work. Maybe people will take the day to see it or try to leave the office early and not get stuck in traffic. But should the team qualify, then you'll expect that it's partying in the streets tonight everywhere.
I can imagine, yeah. So for the team itself then, Rashid, to be in this position, I suggested there's momentum having beaten New Caledonia 1-0, Bailey Kadamatri's goal. Could there be fatigue as well, though, for two such high-profile matches coming back-to-back?
Well, what I've noticed is that head coach Rudolph Speed hasn't played his best squad against New Caledonia. I don't know if it was with one eye on Congo, but there are some players that can come into the team and add something because I definitely thought that squad that played on Thursday night could have been a little better, especially in the midfield. If you look at, we didn't have a ball-playing player like Casey Palmer in the middle. Instead, Cara Anderson started. I would expect him to be put into this squad to make it stronger. And in attack, I would say Jamal Lowe is a bit sharper than Bailey Kadamartri, who scored his only the third goal of his season, whether club or country. You can definitely improve there. And I really don't think fatigue should matter, especially given what's at stake. Even if you have been playing every single game this season, getting to the World Cup should motivate you enough to not think about tired legs.
What do you think, Shaka? Of course, Trinidad and Tobago in the same group, as we've mentioned, with Jamaica. You've seen the team very closely. The DR Congo are ranked higher in the world rankings, if that means anything. 48th in the world to Jamaica's 70. What are your thoughts on Tuesday?
Listen, I understand why Rashid said there's a cautious optimism about Jamaica and their prospects. In the qualifying group, and again, Rashid spoke about everybody, including Trinidad and Tobago, thinking that this would be our easiest opportunity to qualify for a World Cup. That's because of who the hosts are, and the three major nations within CONCACAF did not have to play in CONCACAF qualifying. And then Jamaica got drawn in an all-Caribbean group, and the expectation was that well, even from my perspective, that Jamaica was easily the best team in that group. The other aspect to this, and you also heard Gabby talking about it, what it means off the park. Certainly, kind of given what's happening within the eastern regions of DR Congo. Similarly, with Jamaica, and that last round of qualifying came weeks after Hurricane Melissa hit the island. You just wondered if that would be whether it'd be a motivation or if it was too soon after that catastrophe. In the end, it didn't get the result that they needed, but still, the islands are playing for a people who've felt strife of late. It's personally, and again, you can spin this both ways. You can really look at this both ways, and the result will kind of define both teams kind of coming into this. Jamaica wins this, and you say, yeah, playing a few days before was better. Everybody get a feel of the ball in meaningful competition. I agree with Rashid. I was a little bit surprised at Speed's starting lineup. I felt it could be stronger, but then you had similar questions under McLaren. DR Congo wins it, and then you say, yes, the rest was the best thing for them. So it's 6 of one, half a dozen of the other, in all honesty. And ultimately, as I say, the result kind of determines the narrative.
So which way is it going to go then? Gabby, have you got this feeling that it is going to be DR Congo's time?
Yeah, I think it is, only because the route to get here has been so tough. I mean, just beating Nigeria in the previous game was tough in itself. I think on paper you would think they're a stronger team because of the stars they have in their team, but we managed to get through that. And then now we're here. I think we're very optimistic, and I just think history records are there to be broken. It's been too long, and I think it's our time.
Rashid, is it Jamaica's time?
I think it could be. It's going to be a very close game. Both teams are hard workers, gritty in the middle, and they like to employ set pieces, as Gabby and I discussed a few days ago. It can go either way, and I think Jamaica can get it done, but they have to be fully focused and apply themselves completely.
It is the big one on Tuesday. Jamaica, DR Congo for a place in the World Cup finals. Rashid Parchment from the Jamaican Observer, thanks so much for being with us. CONCACAF, Shaka isn't going to get an extra team though, are they? Suriname lost 2-1 to Bolivia. That's the other intercontinental playoff that is taking place. And they surely wouldn't have had a better chance to reach their first World Cup finals. They led Panama going into the final round of qualifying matches and then were 1-0 up in the match with Bolivia before losing, weren't they?
Yeah, they were, and I'll be honest. I saw Suriname during qualifying, and while obviously they came through that group and finishing in second to qualify for the playoffs, it didn't. It was a surprise to see them do as well as they are, as they did, and then it wasn't much of a surprise to see them fall at this against Bolivia. While they qualified in a group that was littered with Central American teams, and you figured that style of football would kind of suit them, or certainly suited them during the qualifying process. But Bolivia came from behind, got the better of them. That's the risk of these one-off games. Because over two games, I would have thought Bolivia would have gotten by Suriname quite comfortably. But with the one fixture, all of a sudden Suriname get a goal, and there's a sense of unease in the Bolivians. They were able to settle down and get the result. But I felt all along that Bolivia was certainly the better of those two teams.
And in that final then, Bolivia will play Iraq on Tuesday for a place in the World Cup final, Group I, alongside France, Norway and Senegal. And as you may have heard earlier on Sports World, Senegal playing Peru in a friendly. It's at the Stade de France in Paris. And Gabby, the AFCON trophy has been presented to the fans. It's been paraded around the field. There's 2 stars now on the Senegal jersey as well for this match. And of course, at the moment, they have not got that title because the Confederation of African Football overturned the result of the final in January in Rabat and awarded Morocco with that 3-0 victory. So there's a lot to still play out. What do you make of the fact that Senegal are playing in Paris right now, though, and having paraded the trophy?
Yeah, I saw that, and I did have a little chuckle, because of just the way they're going about it. And I think they feel that they are the rightful champions. The game was played out in its entirety, and on the day they won the trophy, and we saw them lift the trophy. I think it's very controversial what's happened. A lot of talking points and what the right decision is. But I think they will feel like champions. But I think they're just rubbing a bit of salt in the wound of CAF on this one.
Yes, well, the head of the country's football federation has vowed a crusade against the decision to strip the team of the title. What were your thoughts on that, Shaka? I was there personally to have seen them won on the field of play. Yes, there was a complete controversy and chaos as well. You wasn't sure what was going on. But the fact the match was restarted, the penalty was missed by Morocco, we went into extra time, we saw a winning goal, and now to get that result, what did you make of it?
So I have to say, not on the day, but certainly when you hear the court process play out and CAF stripping Senegal of the title and awarding it to Morocco, my first instinct is I'm a little bit angry about it. I feel that it didn't reflect well on the Africa Cup of Nations, a tournament that is outstanding to witness, and you see the quality of the football, you see what it means to the fans, but it's still kind of is looked down upon by many European fans. I don't think that helped. Also, looking back on not just the final but also the semi-final, and the Moroccans trying to steal the goalkeepers' towels and the kind of, you want to win titles on the pitch. And I thought that's what Senegal did. I'm not sure that having it, kind of stripped and awarded to Morocco, I'm not sure how that would be received by the Moroccan players outside of Brahim Diaz. I'm not sure how that's not how anybody wants to win a title. So after that initial kind of, that initial feeling of a little bit of anger about it all, I've kind of settled down because I feel convincedly that Senegal are going to appeal to the Court of Arbitration for Sport, and it's going to be overturned. And there's some precedence to this, that what decision the referee makes on the field, on the day, will be upheld. As players, we know that, if a referee gives, and kind of say this tongue-in-cheek, kind of given how the final played out, if the referee gives or doesn't give a penalty that we feel justified by, you live and die by that. You respect that decision whether you like it or not. You don't, after the game, go to court. And similarly, even though, again, the referee was well within his rights to kind of blow the game off at that point, given the fact that Senegal, left the pitch or walked off, or however you want to interpret it, he didn't. And so therefore, you kind of respect that decision. And similarly, you don't go to court after the fact. So I feel fairly confident that the Court of Arbitration of Sport will overturn it, and the trophy will continue to rest where it rightfully belongs, where it is, with Senegal.
Well, they can continue to parade it, certainly for now anyway. The Court of Arbitration for Sport has confirmed receipt of Senegal's appeal, and they promise to rule as swiftly as possible. Both Senegal and Morocco, of course, taking part in the forthcoming World Cup. So we'll talk more about the European qualifiers for the final 4 spots in the 2026 finals, and about the significant news coming out of Liverpool. We brought you earlier, though, live commentary from the Women's Super League, where Manchester City took another step closer towards the title. They have an 11-point advantage now after their 3-0 win. The third from Kirsten Kasparai, and here she is now.
Manchester derby's never easy, unfortunately, but I think we started the game off so well, and you can really see the desire from the team to get this one over the line, and we knew this was a really important game for the title race as well, so I think you can really see everybody put in a massive shift, and I'm so proud of the team.
For you to score a goal in a derby at Old Trafford, that's got to be one of your favourites, surely.
I've waited a long time to score in a Manchester derby. I've persisted before, but yeah, it's special, and to have such a massive crowd, such a massive support, and to celebrate in front of them is such a great feeling. So I think I'm going to sleep well tonight.
Kirsten Kasperai, then, after Manchester City's win, 11 clear at the top of the table. We've got another derby to come, the North London derby between Arsenal and Spurs. Arsenal can close the gap on the leaders. Well, earlier in the Merseyside derby, Liverpool were 3-2 winners over Everton at Goodison Park. With us on the Sports World team is the former Premier League goalkeeper, Trinidad and Tobago international Shaka Hislop, the former Democratic Republic of Congo captain Gabriel Zakwani. We'll get onto those qualifiers in just a moment. Shaka, great to have you with us as well. I want to ask you, though, after you shared that you were diagnosed with an aggressive form of prostate cancer, you've had operation treatments. How are things going for you now? How are you feeling?
Things are going great, and I feel fine, which almost has been the worrying thing, because at no point during this process have I felt ill, felt any kind of pain. I just been going about my business as usual. I always make sure to have an annual physical, which I do, which I did, and that's how it was caught. Not because I was feeling ill or anything of the sort. It's just routine test, and thankfully it was caught. I want to say in time, but there was some spread to the cancer, but I was able to get radiation treatment and feel fine. So I'm on medication, which I will be for the foreseeable future. Outside of that, nothing to report, thankfully.
Well, that is good to hear, and obviously highlighting the fact, getting tested, getting regular tested
Yes.
can obviously highlight these issues and see them being treated.
It absolutely is, and just as I was about to start my radiation back in October of last year, I think it was, I read a story of Sir Chris Foy and his diagnosis, and I couldn't help but draw so many parallels. He'd not felt anything. He was fine. He was working out in the gym, and got a pain in his shoulder. Just thinking he tweaks in some ligaments or something of the sort. I've been going to the gym myself, just trying to keep myself in some semblance of shape. And I just couldn't help but wonder if that would, or consider how easily that could have been my story. Had I not been checked, had it not been caught, I'd have just been going about my business, going to the gym, and then all of a sudden, you get this diagnosis. So I will continue to advocate for men to be tested regularly, and that being a blood test, checking your PSA, because even the DRE exam wouldn't have caught anything in my case. So it's the other thing that's the number of men that have called, that have messaged, that I've seen in the streets, that have spoken about their own issues with prostate cancer, or their challenges, far more prominent than I ever would have thought. So I will continue to advocate for this as best I can, because it's a disease caught early enough does not have to have the fatality statistics that it does.
Very important to bring that awareness for people listening right around the world right now, and good to hear that you're doing well, Shaka. Good to have you with us. Now, let's talk about the big news coming out of Liverpool this week. This has been felt right around the world.
Breaking news, Liverpool forward Mohamed Salah is to leave the club at the end of the season.
The Egyptian has released a farewell message on his social media accounts.
I'm so sorry, because we've just had some major breaking news. We've just heard that Mohamed Salah has announced that he will be leaving Liverpool at the end of the season.
Hello everyone. Unfortunately, the day has come. This is the first part of my farewell. I will be leaving Liverpool at the end of this season. I never imagined how deeply this club, this city, these people would become part of my life.
Cardiff and sort of celebrating for Bosnia going through. If that is going to be good or not, we're going to see it in Zenica.
Yeah, I always think that's very dangerous, but yeah.
Yeah, definitely. Definitely.
Yeah, maybe after the next match. But yeah, Zenica is the destination for Italy. But,
yeah.
I'll get Shaka and Gabby's thoughts on this in a moment as well. But Daniele, just tell us how important this is for Italy, 4-time World Cup winners, to avoid missing out on a third successive World Cup. It's just unthinkable, isn't it?
No, it is unthinkable. It was unthinkable not to take part in a World Cup in the first place because it had happened only once in the whole history of football for Italy. And then 2017 came and was at the San Siro. We lost against Sweden and we were all, our whole nation was, what? We are not going to the World Cup, you what? So we were all buffed, to be honest. Then 4 years later, another time. So it never happened before. I mean, there are kids in Italy who never saw Italy playing at the World Cup. So it's unimaginable for the importance that football has for our nation, for our society and everything. So missing out for a third consecutive time would be, I mean, a disaster, obviously from a sports point of view, also from an economical point of view. Way miles after that, miles after that, there are all other disciplines. Just I don't know, from a tradition point of view. So seeing Italy that way is honestly, so people, I don't know, people don't really understand why. So can't really come to terms with reality.
Yeah.
At some point, it's honestly, it's very, very strange. And just to reassure our colleagues, we will not underestimate Bosnia for sure. You've seen that against Northern Ireland, so we were very careful, very, very careful. So we were between careful and scared somewhere at the beginning, at least. So we will not underestimate them.
Good luck on Tuesday, Daniele. Thank you so much.
Yeah, thank you very much.
Daniele Verri with us on Sports World. Has he gone? Yeah. Right. Shaka